was so hard to choose a little song to use as our podcast intro, but I quite like that song. It's super catchy, gets me in the mood. Anyway, today, 28th of December 2021, we are 3 days away from a brand new year, and if you will, a clean slate. Is this going to be your year? Is this going to be the year you finally get around to doing some of the stuff you've always wanted to do? Because, the last 2 years basically have been, I almost want to say, dud years in a sense for a lot of people, because we've had sort of this thing hanging over us that you could have used as an excuse not to, not to start that business or not to plan your next adventure or whatever the case may be, But for me, honestly, I haven't been this excited about a new year in a while. I am pumped beyond belief for 2022. I have such cool things planned sort of for YouTube, where I want to take my YouTube channel to, for our business. We've got some new products coming out that I've been working on that we'll have available sort of under the Impact Pro Shop brand or the Impact Shooting brand that I'm super, super pumped about. Small stuff, but really something that I feel there's a big need for. So I'm super pumped about that. I think 2022 might also be the year that we look at starting another business that's perhaps not sort of intertwined with all the shooting stuff we do, something that can sort of run as a separate entity. And I think it would be a smart thing to do that, especially because, everything we kind of do at the moment, even though we are pretty diversified, it's all sort of weaved into the shooting thing. So I'm not quite sure exactly what route we'll take and what ultimate form factor that will take. But I think 2022 is going to be the year where we finally dive into another business venture, whether that be with somebody or with ourselves, or, whether I end up investing into my wife's psychology business. We've got some really cool ideas that we want to do there. Let me just adjust this mic a little bit. So I'm pumped. We had our sort of Christmas get-together in the Eastern Cape, which is about 1,000 kilometers. The region where we went to, about 1,000 kilometers. So it's that 608 miles, which doesn't seem far, but in South Africa, that's pretty far, to drive up for a few days. So I had a lot of time on the road to think about and strategize for 2022. And honestly, the more time we spent on the road, the more I was like, holy moly, cannot wait to get back and absolutely smash this new year. So I'm pumped. And honestly, I'm not just pumped from sort of a business entrepreneurship point of view. I'm pumped from a content creative point of view. I've got some really cool ideas to what I want to bring towards the channel. I think 2022 might also be the year we invest in getting a high-speed camera. When you watch, you guys remember, I don't know, if you're sort of my age, you will know Mythbusters, which used to be the coolest freaking TV show in the world. I used to love that show, man. Those guys were so funny, especially Adam. So those kind of cameras are, the Phantom, which is basically the go-to high-speed camera. They're over R1 million, so they're about $100,000 to buy their entry-level cameras. But those cameras have really been developed, for military use to form weapon systems and missiles and things in like super detail at a very slow speed so they can see what's happening. But lately, there's been quite a push, with consumer level high speed cameras that are more affordable. Now, when I say more affordable, we're still talking like $10,000 for a little camera that can really only do one thing. It's not like sort of these cameras that I film this on that are pretty versatile. They take stunning photographs and all those things. By the way, last night I hit 20,000 followers on Instagram, and we'll soon be doing a giveaway for a Raptor there. And we're going to send a Raptor muzzle brake to somebody somewhere in the world. So super pumped on that. So yeah, a high-speed camera will certainly unlock quite a few possibilities for, the kind of stuff we can show you guys. Because oftentimes, I want to show you in detail how something is working, or, just the coolness factor. Let's be honest. If you can like explode stuff in high speed at, a good resolution, that's something people want to see on YouTube, and perhaps something we should look at implementing. I actually today finally ordered another set of studio lights that I can permanently set up in sort of our B camera angle, which I'm pumped for in the sort of shop space, if you will. We've got some really exciting things planned, but again, we have to invest quite heavily. You know, that camera or that lighting setup's another 20,000 Rand to get basically a second angle set up for you guys. For the guys watching on YouTube, this specific podcast, you'll see behind me is sort of we've made minor upgrades to this sort of space. So reloading tour coming soon. We've got the orange vice just off my left here. I'm just waiting on that Jaws set to come in, and then we're going to do sort of the whole studio walkthrough. So I'm super excited to show you this space we've built out, and it's really exceeded my expectations thus far. It's the ultimate man cave. And I was actually chatting to some of the guys in the POI, in our People of Impact WhatsApp group, and one of the guys got a new reloading bench, and he's like, he thinks his bench is too small. And then I said to him, you know, that's the thing about this hobby. It doesn't really matter how big your bench is. We're probably always going to look at, you know, adding more stuff, you know, or just getting more space to pack out your things and organize your things. And that's what's really cool about this hobby. There's always a little bit of something you can tinker with or pack out or organize. If you're a competitive shooter, you've always got something to do in your workshop. So yeah, man, it's super cool. And this space really is cool, and I'm really looking forward to showing you guys that. Then sort of on a more personal note, I don't know, this might come out still before my sort of reveal video. I don't know if you guys do follow me on Instagram or you've seen my sort of community post. I've recently gone through quite a remarkable physical transformation where, you know, I said to myself, I want to get before the end of the year. I basically gave myself 9 weeks to get into the best shape, you know, physical condition that I have ever been in my whole life. And while that process was incredibly challenging, especially at first, you know, making those sort of initial changes, it was very difficult. But the results, like, it's blown my mind. We've gotten amazing results, and I'm super keen to take that into 2022 and use that sort of new drive, a new level of energy to tackle different things. So one of the things I thought of doing is setting also, you know, because the last 9 weeks, it's been very controlled, the whole thing. And I didn't have a lot of freedom to, you know, just put on my shoes and go for a run whenever I felt like it. So I kind of had to manage that a little bit. But going into 2022, I definitely want to run more. So one of the things I thought could be fun is setting a goal for like a overall mileage goal for the year. And this is where I have to be careful because I have, you know, I've had multiple ankle surgeries. I've had 2 knee surgeries. I've broken a lot of bones and injured a lot of things in my life. So I have to be careful not to overdo it here. But I thought something that could be fun is to say, listen, okay, let's see if we can run 2,000 kilometers for the year. So that's the goal for now, is to say 2,000 kilometers for 2022. It's quite a nice number, rings together nicely, and that basically means I have to run, you know, let me crunch the numbers here quickly, but it shouldn't be too bad. You know, if I do sort of a minimal loop every day, and this is where the problem's going to come in. If I do 5.5 kilometers a day, that's basically 2,000. Now, then that means you've got no off days. So you have to run for 365 days of the year, 5.5 kilos. That's certainly doable. Now, where the challenge with that is going to come in as soon as you start getting busy, you know. So you're probably going to have to stack and bank a few early miles before we get busy, because as soon as we start going into sort of precision rifle season, you know, you fly on the Friday, you go away for a weekend, you shoot a 2-day match, so that's 3 days that you're not running. You know, you go on a hunt or something like that, you're not running there, so you're going to have to, it's going to take some planning, and the last thing you want to do is sort of, you know, have to make up 700-800 kilometers with 2 months to go, because that's going to suck big time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with quite a bit of base mileage, and I've run a few days in a row now just to sort of get set up. In fact, I'm wearing these new, let me slip one off here for the guys watching on YouTube. These new Under Armour, they're called Flow Velocity SE shoes. They're running shoes. They're really pretty, And they also have Bluetooth in them, which is quite a game changer. You know, I didn't know that. I've run with these twice. I didn't know they had Bluetooth in them. So today I linked them up to the app, had to update my shoes, which is quite something. You know, I don't know how I feel about that level of technology in something that I run in the rain with and all of those kind of things. That's the other thing. You're going to have to front end load for winter or just, you know, sort of run through the winter. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what that chip actually does. Is it a gimmick? Is it really cool? I don't know. That'll remain to be seen. So in order to help me with, you know, the running goal, it always helps to have sort of a bigger goal. You know, what do you want to do with, why are you running? So I thought there's this event called the Cape Town Ultra, which is basically a trail run. Now, in 2022, they're going to be adding a 100-mile version of this race, okay? 100 miles is 160 kilometers of trail running. That sounds stupidly far, but I thought, you know, I think the race is usually in November every year, and with a year's worth of running training, basically, you know, let's say it's a solid 10 months of running training, I could probably do the 60K, you know, 60 kilometers. So I think I'm going to enter for that. As soon as the entry's open for that, I'm going to enter for that. And I don't know, maybe we should go like full Cam Hanes, you know, run every other day or every day, work out, hit the weight room, everything. Yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to end up doing. I'm really enjoying being physically active again. And I'm really seeing the benefits of that in my life and just how I feel every day. So that's really cool. It's not always easy to put your shoes on and go running, especially over Christmas time. You know, I did one run, I took a few days off, but I immediately started feeling like I need to do something, you know, because I have that eagerness to actually get out there and train at the moment, which is cool. And what's really powerful is the way we can build momentum. And that is the same in everything we do, you know, whether it's a business or physical activity or anything. Just once you're sort of on that roll, it's so much easier to stay in that zone and to stay motivated and to stay moving. So I want to really capitalize on that next year. As far as the YouTube channel is concerned, you know, last year we did 5.5 million views, which is, it's a little bit down from 2020, but 2020 was a really big year for us because we had one or two videos go super viral. Well, not super viral, but like for a gun channel, they went pretty viral. But 2020, obviously, also the whole pandemic and all of those kind of things. You know, in the beginning phases, there was a lot more eyes on the internet. And that's why I feel like in 2020, we did a little bit better than we did this year. So my goal for next year is going to be 10 million views. I want to at least basically double our view count. And I've got a strategy how we're going to do that. I've often spoken about this or quickly, briefly alluded to this in some of our other videos, but it's like, I feel there's so much junk, in air quotes, shooting content out there, but clearly there's a big market for that. And I don't want to pivot sort of in that direction where we see how many dinner plates it'll take to stop a 9mm or those kind of videos. But clearly there is a market for that. So perhaps what we'll start doing is here and there having sort of more of a fun video thrown in the mix there just to sort of appeal to the wider audience. And if that means, you know, we get more eyes on the channel and that gets more people interested in sort of our other videos, or they click on another video and all of a sudden, you know, they see, hey, there's way more to this sport than, you know, just shooting stuff and blowing stuff up. So that's kind of the goal. If overall, you know, we can get more eyes on the channel and people can see how cool it is that the stuff we actually do, you know, whether it's hunting or competition shooting or sort of long range shooting. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. Then I'm also toying with the idea of designing my own cartridge. Actually toying a lot with that idea. So more on that in the near future as soon as we sort of have a little bit more info on that. But it's something exciting. It's not what you think it is. It's going to be epic. We also have a bunch of new rifle builds planned. In fact, I'm going to do a video sort of right in the beginning of the new year for those upcoming builds. I think you guys are really going to enjoy them. We've got some really cool hunts scheduled for next year, and hopefully, you know, there is a little bit of drama and stuff happening at the moment behind the scenes, but as soon as all that sort of stuff is cleared up, then I can loop you guys in on that. Then travel looks like it's going to open up in the next few days again to visit the US. That all of a sudden throws a bit of a spanner in the works because I'd been planning on shooting the NRL Championship match here I'd kind of been planning on it, then wasn't planning on it because I was going to go to SHOT Show when travel opened up. So I haven't been training or anything like that. No dry fire, nothing. Then we got slapped with the travel ban as soon as the new variant got announced. And then all of a sudden now the travel ban's gone again. So it's really been like up in the air. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably not going to SHOT Show and shooting our championship match and then schedule sort of a trip and perhaps tie that in with a match overseas. So if you guys know of a really cool match that I should try and shoot, I've got a copy of my match rifle that I have here in South Africa. I've got a BAT TR Dasher chambered up, IBI barrel, all of those things in an MDT ACC with the Razor on. Everything is ready to go, lying in the US for when I come over and shoot matches, because that way, it'll be way easier for me to travel internationally without a firearm, get a cheaper flight, all of those things, and just get somebody to bring my rifle to that match that's allowed to have it. It's just a way easier way of doing that. Because in the past, we'd fly in with our rifles. You've got all of that admin and stuff that goes in there. Then you can't bring your ammo along. So we're going to be able to sort of circumvent all of that. No worries. We're going to load our ammo that side. So we're going to shoot the same load in the same chamber. Everything's going to be perfect. And then hopefully we can have a nice match, and probably also want to come a few days earlier, because the last time I went over to the US to shoot the 2019 finale, I landed there the same day we had to zero our rifles. And when you've just spent like 20 something hours in the air, and you've got a 9-hour or something time difference, the next day you don't feel wonderful, and the day after that's even worse. So I've never really shot in competed in the US being like in a mentally good space and a physical good space. I'm really excited to sort of see how we stack up against sort of the best shooters in the world. And, if you know me, I'm always looking to learn. So I think where I am sort of now in my shooting career, I can even soak up more information to share with you guys. Sorry about that. I just bumped the microphone. I'm also getting ready to add a significant amount of info to our precision rifle course. So keep that in mind. If you've looked at picking up this course, okay, this is our precision rifle course, not the reloading course. Soon the prices are going to go up for that once we add the new information. The good news is for everybody that has picked it up already, all the new information is going to form part of what you already own. So you're basically getting, if you will, an expansion pack for what you've already purchased. So it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be a game changer, and I'm really excited to sort of share that with you guys. Anyway, guys, it is now 1:45. Little one's been asleep for about an hour. I'm now going to hit the road, do a quick, about 8 kilometers, then hit the weights in the gym, and then I'm going to edit this up for us tonight somewhere after 7, and hopefully share it with you guys. That's one thing that I'm kind of challenged with at the moment. I don't know why I'm whispering. My wife's never hearing this, even though I'm kind of like in air quotes on holiday still, because I'm so pumped for this year. I just want to knock out content. I've got like 5-6 video ideas that I really want to film, but I kind of have to focus on taking my foot off the gas and just enjoying the few days with my family before we sort of open up on the 5th of January. Anyway, guys, what are your goals for the year? Have you spent some time thinking about that? If you have a long drive or a flight, or, you want to take a break from your family and just sort of go sit somewhere quiet and reflect on your year that has been and your year that's upcoming. I feel it's such a good thing, and something we don't do often enough is just reflecting on sort of where we are, where we see ourselves in the next 5 years. It's so important, and when we don't do that, we get sort of stuck in that loop. When you drive to work, you do the same thing, you go home, you do the same thing, and you blink, and another 5 years has gone by, and you haven't started that business that you've wanted to, or undertaken a new journey of some kind. So having said all that, I hope 2022 is your year. I think it's going to be a wonderful year. I think it's going to be a great year. I think it's going to be our best year yet. But only if you take action. Nothing's going to happen for you. It's going to happen to you. So you have to manifest this yourself. You have to get out there and put in the work. And you can't just do, you have to spend some time thinking about what you want to do in order to move the needle in the right direction. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If it was just a 30-minute break from your screaming family, then I guess that's helpful too. And if we don't speak to each other again before the end of the year, I want to thank you for listening to the podcast. Please do me a favor, leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. It really does help a lot in order to, push the content out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me hit our little outro song here that I also really like. Okay, gentlemen and ladies, love you a long time. See you in the next one. Bye. Cheers, guys.